When someone can't control you, your thoughts, your decisions, your energy, it threatens them. Not because you're doing something wrong, but because your independence reminds them of everything they aren't. People often feel secure when they can influence others, when they can predict behavior, or when they know they have some kind of hold over someone. The moment you break free from that, when you stop seeking approval, when you choose yourself without apology, you disrupt their illusion of power. Control isn't always loud. Sometimes it comes in the form of expectations, pressure to conform, or subtle manipulation masked as advice. When you refuse to shrink to fit those standards, when you choose to walk your own path boldly, you become unpredictable, and unpredictable people scare those who rely on control to feel relevant. They may call you too much, too ambitious, too independent. But that's only because your presence exposes their limitations. Your courage to stand alone without needing validation shines a light on their fear of being alone with their own thoughts. So instead of evolving, they try to reduce you. Because it's easier to tear someone down than to build themselves up. This is not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of their insecurity. You don't need to be controlled. You don't need to be liked. You need to be free, and freedom, especially emotional and mental freedom, is a kind of power that terrifies people who have never tasted it. Let them fear it. Let them talk. Your focus isn't to be understood. Your focus is to be real ***. And if that makes people uncomfortable, so be it. You're not here to make them feel safe. You're here to remind them what's possible. There's something powerful about quiet confidence, the kind that doesn't scream for attention, but radiates from within. It's not arrogance. It's not ego. It's a deep knowing of who you are, what you stand for, and what you will no longer tolerate. That kind of energy can be incredibly intimidating, especially to people who haven't yet found that certainty in themselves. Insecure people often measure their worth by comparison. They seek validation through approval, status, or attention. So when someone walks into a room with no need for any of that, grounded, self-assured, and unapologetically themselves, it unsettles them. Your confidence becomes a mirror. It reflects everything they feel they lack, and instead of being inspired, many respond with judgment, sarcasm, or distance. It's not because you did something wrong. It's because you did something they haven't yet dared to do. Believe in yourself without asking for permission. You may notice that people like this try to downplay your achievements or label your self-assurance as cocky or too much. That's projection. What they're really saying is, I wish I had what you have. But instead of owning that vulnerability, they attack the source of their discomfort, you. Confidence isn't loud. It's not always about walking in and owning the space. Sometimes it's in the way you say no without guilt, set boundaries without fear, and speak your truth without trembling. That power, even in silence, can shake people who are still searching for their own voice. Your job isn't to shrink so others can feel tall. Your job is to keep standing in your truth, no matter how uncomfortable it makes others, because your confidence might just be the wake-up call they didn't know they needed. There's only one of you in the entire universe, and that's not an accident. Your voice, your perspective, your quirks, your story, they all make up something no one else can replicate. That's your edge. That's your power, and yet, so many of us spend years trying to blend in, to be liked, to fit someone else's idea of normal. In doing that, we dilute the very thing that makes us unforgettable. What makes you different isn't a flaw. It's a feature. It's the thing that sets you apart in a sea of sameness. People might not understand it at first. Some may mock it, question it, or even reject it. But that doesn't make it any less powerful. In fact, resistance is often the first sign that you're onto something real. We live in a world that profits off of conformity. It teaches you to follow the script, check the boxes, and never color outside the lines. But the ones who make history, the ones who change the game, are the ones who break the mold. They lean into what makes them different, not away from it. Maybe you're the one who thinks too deeply, feels too much, dreams too big, or speaks too boldly. Good, that's the magic. That's the stuff that scares small minds and inspires brave ones. The truth is, no one remembers people who play it safe. We remember the ones who dared to be themselves loudly and without apology. So stop trying to erase the parts of you that don't fit. They're not mistakes, they're markers of greatness. Your uniqueness isn't something you need to explain or defend. It's something you need to own. Because the moment you do, You stop trying to compete and you start to lead. Success is often celebrated from a distance, admired, envied, and applauded. But up close, it tells a different story. The moment you begin to rise, to grow, to do something that others told you was impossible, you'll notice a shift. People start talking, not always with praise, often with doubt, sarcasm, or criticism. That's not a sign you're doing something wrong. It's proof that you're doing something worth noticing. Success has a strange way of revealing the insecurities of those around you. It can make people uncomfortable, not because of your achievements, but because of what your achievements say about their inaction. You become a mirror reflecting the risks they didn't take, the chances they were too afraid to go after, the dreams they gave up on. And sometimes, rather than confront that pain, they aim it at you. Criticism becomes their way of regaining control. They question your motives, your methods, even your worthiness. They say you got lucky. They say you changed, but what really changed was your refusal to stay where they left you. It's easy to be liked when you're quiet, when you stay in your lane, when you don't challenge the status quo. But the moment you choose growth over comfort, you invite resistance. That resistance isn't your enemy, it's your compass. It means you're moving. No one throws stones at what isn't shining, so let them talk. Let them doubt, let them whisper, because success will always come with noise. The louder it gets, the more you know you're on the right path. Your job is not to explain or defend your wins. Your job is to keep building, keep showing up, and let your results speak where words fall short. There's a quiet, unshakable strength in someone who refuses to give up. That strength is called resilience, and it doesn't come from having an easy life. It's built in the dark moments, the hard days, the silent battles no one sees. It's not about how many times you fall. It's about the fact that you keep getting back up, every single time, with your head higher and your heart stronger. People who are resilient become untouchable not because they don't feel pain, but because they've learned how to rise in spite of it. Life will test you. It will hand you disappointment, betrayal, failure, and loss. And when it does, you have two choices: let it define you or let it build you. Resilient people choose the latter. They take the hit, but they don't stay down. They bend, but they don't break. What makes this kind of strength so powerful is that it can't be taken away. Success can be envied, looks can fade, money can disappear, but resilience, that's earned. It lives inside you, it travels with you, it becomes your armor. People who haven't developed it might try to knock you down, not realizing that your scars are your source of power. Every setback taught you something. Every failure shaped your fight, and every time you were underestimated, you came back harder, smarter, louder. That's what makes you untouchable. Not perfection, not privilege, but the refusal to quit. You've walked through storms others can't imagine and still showed up. You've turned wounds into wisdom. You've made strength your story. So when life comes at you again, and it will remember this, it's not about avoiding the fall. It's about being the one who always gets back up. There is nothing more powerful or more freeing than standing in your truth without asking for permission. Being unapologetically yourself means you've stopped shrinking, stopped editing, stopped performing. It means you've chosen to show up as you are, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's misunderstood, and especially when it's unpopular. In a world constantly telling you who to be, how to act, and what to believe, authenticity becomes a rebellion. It takes courage to say, "This is me," fully, loudly, without filter. But once you do, you begin to live life on your terms. You start attracting people, opportunities, and energy that align with your truth, not the version of you you've created to please others. Not everyone will celebrate your authenticity. Some will feel threatened by it. Some will try to tame it, mock it, or make you question it. That's because your freedom reminds them of their own chains. Your ability to speak up, to say no, to draw boundaries, to pursue what you love, that's intimidating to those still stuck in roles they never chose. But here's the thing, you were never meant to be liked by everyone. You were meant to be real, to be aligned, to live fully, not just exist politely. Being unapologetically you doesn't mean you're perfect. It means you've made peace with your imperfections. It means you've chosen truth over performance, purpose over popularity, and self-respect over acceptance. That's where your real power lies, not in being what the world expects, but in being exactly who you are without flinching. Because when you stop apologizing for your existence, you become unstoppable. And more importantly, you become free.